Before Jessi Colter ever sang a note of country music, the most pivotal moment of Waylon Jennings' career had already begun to unfold. Together, they weren't just another country couple, they were revolutionaries. Waylon Jennings and Jessi Colter didn't follow the rules of Nashville. They burned the rulebook and carved out a new path called outlaw country. But behind the music and fame was a woman whose story was rarely told. Jessi was the quiet strength beside a man nearly consumed by his demons, and her journey is a heartbreaking blend of love, chaos, survival, and eventually rediscovery. Born Miriam Johnson in 1943 in a strict Pentecostal household in Phoenix, Arizona, Jessi was raised in a world of gospel music, sermons, and unwavering faith. Her mother, a church pianist and minister, taught her music early on. But even in childhood, Jessi felt the tension between her religious upbringing and a deeper creative longing that didn't quite fit within the walls of the church. This internal conflict would later echo through her deeply spiritual yet unconventional music. That tension only grew stronger when tragedy struck. Her younger brother Paul died, and Jessi's view of the world shattered. Her relationship with faith didn't break, it transformed. That spiritual ambiguity would define her life and music for decades to come. As a teen, she found her voice playing piano in small Arizona clubs. At 18, she married Dwayne Eddy, a rock and roll guitar legend. Though the marriage offered her a first glimpse of the music industry, it quickly proved stifling. Jessi felt like a shadow to her husband's rising fame, heard, but not truly seen. By 1968, the marriage was over, and she was left a single mother with a growing hunger to find her own identity. That's when Miriam Johnson became Jessi Colter, name that symbolized freedom, grit, and reinvention. She didn't chase polished Nashville hits. Instead, she gravitated toward the raw, rebellious sound that would soon be called outlaw country. In the early 1970s, she found herself in the same orbit as Willie Nelson, Chris Christopherson, and Waylon Jennings. But it was her connection with Waylon that would change everything. They fell in love fast and hard, two artists drawn together by creative chemistry and spiritual depth. But Waylon wasn't an easy man to love. Already a legend, he battled addiction that nearly destroyed him. Jessi wasn't just his wife, she was his anchor. Through late nights, dangerous habits, and emotional chaos, she stayed. Not because she was weak, but because she believed in the man underneath the fame. Their most defining moment came in the Arizona desert in the early 1980s. Waylon chose to quit his $1,000 day drug habit cold turkey with no rehab, no doctors, and no help but Jessi. She stayed by his side through sleepless nights and unbearable pain, praying and watching over him. Against all odds, he made it through. He never touched drugs again, and that moment became a powerful turning point. Jessi's unwavering belief had helped him reclaim his life. Together, they raised a son, shared the stage, and lived through fire and somehow stayed standing. But their journey wasn't without controversy. In 1977, Waylon was famously arrested when a package containing drugs was traced to a Nashville studio. Facing serious charges, he spotted a legal flaw in the search warrant and used it to avoid conviction. Instead of hiding, he turned the moment into a song. Don't you think this outlaw bit's done? Got out of hand, a brutally honest confession about the persona he had created. Then in 1985, he made headlines again for walking out of the We Are the World recording session over a Swahili lyric he refused to sing, sparking debate over whether it was cultural insensitivity or just an artist staying true to himself. Either way, it was classic Waylon, defiant, authentic, and impossible to control. Throughout it all, Jessi was there. She wasn't just the woman beside a legend. She was a legend in her own right. Her 1975 hit, I'm Not Lisa, topped charts and proved she could shine on her own. She wasn't just supporting Waylon's rebellion, she was leading her own. Still, when Waylon's health declined, she stepped away from the spotlight. When he died in 2002, it wasn't just the end of a marriage. It was the closing of a chapter that had defined her life. For years, she withdrew from the public eye, retreating into faith, prayer, and quiet reflection. But Jessi wasn't done yet. In 2017, she released a memoir, An Outlaw and a Lady, revealing her story with quiet honesty. It wasn't a scandalous tell. It was a portrait of faith, heartbreak, and resilience. That same year, she released the Psalms, a spiritual album blending gospel, poetry, and scripture. Now, in her 80s, Jessi continues to create not for fame, but because her story still matters. Her voice, once drowned out by louder men, now stands as a testament to survival, strength, and self-discovery. In the shadow of an outlaw, Jessi Colter found her own light.